Okay, hello everyone. I guess it would be better to speak in English than Czech. Today we have a few important things to share, and I think that maybe Petr can start with his presentation or whatever he has in mind.
Okay, I have just one important issue and two comments. We found in some pieces of code usage of the context provider with function getContextItem. And the message is that it is very important to realize that the context item is always the item related to the sitecore path from the content tree, which was originally called by the controller action, by the sitecore controller rendering. If there is any additional view which is called from within the layout, like we share, we have like 10 boxes on the screen, and the internal boxes, if they use this function get context item to get the item related to this particular view, it will not work because it gets the context item of the whole call to the server. So this is important. And the message is quite cryptic, the error, because it is type function, as you can see. It expects, in this case, it is not important, this one case, I have just found the first occurrence of this function. But it expects some type, the type of the object that you get from the sitecore content item. The glass object should be of this type. And if the context is different, which means that you included your view in some other rendering, you will get different type. So the error you get is something like cannot convert whatever to this type. Completely different types from different part of the application. So if you somehow meet this, just realize this is the problem of the context item, and you should replace, in that case, I'm not talking again about this particular piece of code, you should replace get context item with standard get item, where you send the ID of the item and you get the specific item which you want.
We have also another helper method get current rendering context, which can be in many cases you want to know.
So just be aware of this. And we found the error very luckily, I would say, because it was used in Vue, which was originally used only in the right way in the rendering of the sitecore, and then it was used, Martina, in some object which was used by this view or something like this, and the same class and the same object was used in different part of the application in e-commerce, and there was completely different context item. Okay, so this was something I wouldn't recommend to use these context item functions in services in general. In controllers, it's fine. And as Radim said, we can use not the context item only, but also rendering context. But in services, I would prefer, like in general, use the ID of the item and get the item, the right item all the time. Okay. So this was my first comment. And another one, I don't have any example here, but we were preparing a framework which enables to call some functionality when the user leaves site. It can be on different. It can be different behavior which does this. One is clicking on the close button of the browser. Another is redirecting out of our site. Another one can be just typing the URL to the address bar. All these situations have to be handled, and the idea why it was open, this topic in this case, was that the persistence of basket took quite a lot of load in the database. So we wanted to postpone the persistence to the very last moment, because 90%, as we believe, is that user puts anything to the basket, and then they do the order. And in this case, they don't have to persist the basket at all. And in the remaining 10%, they want to keep the basket in case they log out, close the browser, or whatever. They want to have the basket persisted, and we have to react on these situations. So there is a framework prepared for this. I will not talk about this, but there was one situation which was not handled by this framework, and this was if you in code use window location href is and setting the URL programmatically with this without clicking on any anchor tag or using other like form submits. Those were handled, but the Windows location href equals something is not anyhow handleable. Yeah? You simply do it in the browser, and there's no event in the jQuery or wherever how you could handle this. So there is a new module in JavaScript written. I can show this at least. There's a redirect.js module, and there's one function in general which is called set window location, yeah, and you just pass the URL to this function. So instead of window location href equals my URL, now you call ori.redirect.set window location and the URL. Yeah, everywhere in the application, if you want to change the location from JavaScript, use this function. This is the important message. It handles on the background everything required for the correct handling of this navigation. So if you call set window location with the URL of a page on our site, it doesn't save the basket, for example. If you call redirect to Google or wherever, it does persist the basket, and so on. So just important message, don't use window location href equals something anymore. And the last one, but it's I'm just thinking about it. It's based on some messages from the Ignite conference, and I was looking on some SQL Server shows or presentations, and we are using the datetime type for datetime. And there's a problem with precision. On the last session, this technical update, I was talking about usage of datetime, where it is rounded to milliseconds or something like this. The strange rounding behavior that it has just either the whole milliseconds or 003 or 007, 009 or something like this. So, this crazy rounding. And the general recommendation is that if you are using SQL Server since 2012, I don't know which version, we should use datetime too. So we should consider using this new type instead of datetime, and maybe we should rewrite all the code because as of the data size, it can be the same size or 2 bytes higher than the data time. You can specify the precision you require, and it doesn't have this strange rounding. So this is just consideration. When we design new things, we might consider using this datetime too. So if you are creating a new table with datetime column, just come to me and we will discuss what's more convenient. And maybe we will decide to change all datetime columns to datetime. Okay, but it's not decided yet. So that's all from my side. Any questions?
Okay, so I have go. few announcements to make because as I was told that some externals can't see announcements in for before the mails are not going yet, or at least it was not. They were not going well like a few days before this session. So and these announcements are quite important. So please look at the announcements in before, and I will read them for you. It's important that the database updates, if you update the database like tenants data and so on, that you have follow this dbscript installer page in the wiki. And most important of this is these 4 rules that were like discussed several times, but from now on we have them written down. Be absolutely clear what is needed. So all changes has to be backward compatible. Yeah, if we are deploying a new version, then you can't use like drop column or drop table. Yeah, so because it's because of the deployment process when the 2 versions of the application exist at the same time, hitting the same database. It's not related to Sitecore web database, it's related to tenants data. Without more information, without more getting in details, this is one of the most important things here. The second one, because we do not want to our database get like over complicated and overcrowded with things that we do not use anymore. So we established like this cleanups or cleanup folder under the scripts folder that should contain all like cleanup scripts. So if a column is not used anymore or table is not used anymore, you can like create a script that's removing things from the database. This cleanup script would be run on demand, and after a deploy has been rolled out on all 7 CSO, it's then safe to remove those tables and columns and storage procedures and whatever. So one more thing, please make your updates in a way that they could be run several times again and again. So, for instance, if you like creating a table, please check that the table does not exist before. Yeah, it's because of the dev issues, and on staging and on production, there should be no such situations when your script would be run like twice on the same tenant, but on the dev it could happen. So yeah, please do these updates like this. And 4, is the 4th point. It's not the least, it's last but not least. Data manipulation updates. Please keep in mind that if we are deploying updates like now, or deploying new versions, it's happening on live site, so there is a traffic, and in sometimes, for instance, in critical patches, or even if the deploy is kind of delayed, because most of the time the live admin should be deployed in the morning, but we know that most of the time it's kind of it takes a long time before it's really updated. So in fact, the websites are updated like in the evening maybe. So last time it was at 7 p.m. CEST. So it was like 5 p.m. UTC, and it's kind of a peak in Russia. Yeah. So if there is some data manipulation update, it could kind of like lock the whole table and the cluster then becomes unstable and so on. So just keep in mind that if the table contains like hundreds or millions or whatever data, it's kind of fragile to updates. Yeah, so therefore, I kindly ask you to consult in these cases your updates with our DBAs like Michal Polkic and Stanislav Trubcano. Yeah. So this is two announcements. Yeah, there is one or two more, like that we establish Azure Playground database.
One more.
Okay, yeah.
Little questions.
Okay. Okay, good point. Okay, I will edit to this later. Thank you. So to the playground, that's only to know that there is some database that you may use for any reason. Most of the you are you are welcome to to test any script you want to run against Azure, like create table or whatever, just to be sure that it's running on Azure without problems, because our staging servers are unfortunately on the whole on the big SQL server, and even though the SQL Azure database is quite similar now with the new version, like the on-premise server, still some updates could fail. Yeah, so okay. And last one, staging SQL server. Please, if you are like creating a new database or updating current database, again contact our PAs, because like now it's kind of difficult, but MDF and LDF file should be placed somewhere, and options of the database should be set should be set there. So just consult these changes too with Sandra and Michal. Yeah. So this is for announcements. We have like 40 minutes left, so let me continue with staging server. And any more comments or questions for these announcements? I guess not. Thank you. So staging server change, because again we are doing the deployment like uninterrupted and in place. We need to ensure that the old version of the application is compatible with the database. This was till now not tested. Yeah? So like now we are establishing this process when we need during deploy to staging before it's going live. So we need to test that the old version of the binaries is compatible with a new version of the database, particularly the trans data. In fact, what we are about to change in staging, which is not decided yet, but we like to do it this week. That's why I am announcing it right now. Is that we need to create a new application server for staging environment, keep the old version there until the new version is rolled out on all servers, and we need to test both versions of the staging server, like the old one, so the new one. Again, same tenant database that is modified, and we need to ensure that the functionality of the old version, it's still working, and that nothing was like broken. Still, there could be issues while deploying the data manipulation changes. Yeah. So this needs to be checked by days. but from the perspective of schema changes, this should be like tested in staging before it's applied, it go live. So this is really something that we will need to establish this week, and will be definitely related with data processing, with the data copy from live process, and maybe some URL would change, or we add some new URL to test, like maybe hold staging. I don't know. This will be announced, and will be the start of the process would be the next if there is a live deploy. Okay, so any question to this? Any questions? Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Okay. This point, application cache, donor cache per user. Okay, so this was something Kuba discovered in live environment. That some application cache was the key of the application cache was the key included also some user related data. Yeah? So in fact the implication was that the particular application cache was created for each user access. Yeah? And in fact we have like maybe 4,000 access or sessions running on CIS region right in peaks. Yeah. So this is something that is really filling up the memory. Would be something that really fill up the memory quick. So I don't say that this is something we cannot never do. Yeah. But this is something that we should always consider to do it like per user type. Yeah, I have no like examples here. Yeah. And I have definitely not the particular application key, the key of the cache that was like is used. Yeah. But this is something that we all need to consider when creating the keys for the caches. Yeah. So.
Do you think that is a reason for a problem with instance?
Yeah, it could be. So this is something that needs to be considered. The memory issues. This is setting.
But the memory for the cache is limited. But
unfortunately, the memory.
Even if it would,
Even if it would, okay, if the cache key, if the cache item would have some ETL specified, some time to live specified, like a short time, it could be okay. Yeah, but still, we have thousands of users per server. Yeah, so it's always a consideration. Yeah, this type of cache. The gains, pros, and contrast. Yeah. In this particular case, when the Kuba found it, I think that this was not the case, and this needed to be done this way, because I think that the content was changed per user, but on the higher level it was per type of the user. Yeah, so we found like another key that was like grouping the several users to one type. Yeah, so like thousands times less data. Okay, so any questions? No? No? Okay, so I'll pass my microphone, or will you go here?
I ask you for a cooperation.
Yeah, no problem.
Please show us the article on the wiki code review process.
Okay, no
I apologize to
problem.
guys from Cumulus. They will hear this article, this comments on the code review process once more. But yes, so let's start. We try to align code review process through all teams in Oriflame. So let's discuss about it. It's just a draft, but let's implement it to all teams, and let's start with do this process. And yes, so this my input to this meeting is about shortly comment how the process will look, and any comments regarding particular states in the process. So on the start, author creates the code review request. This code review request in code review assistant contains change sets or change sets. It's up to you. Second important part is the add moderator. It seems it's a Scrum Master. So responsibility of moderator is facilitation of all process. I'm talking about controlling of right reviewers, controlling of state of the process, etc. Third step of author is about adding of reviewers. It's very important. On this diagram, it's a little bit sidecore perspective, but let's discuss in a concrete team how is the situation in other teams. But for V4 and Cumulus team, it's the same. We have three areas which must be scoped by code review. Site for items. Let's talk about structure, templates, etc., and site for implementation. And second area is a front end. Let's say changes in styles, changes in JavaScript, changes in HTML code, etc. And third part is a backend. It's C# changes, services changes, controllers changes, repositories, and so on. So for these three areas, it must be set a reviewer. For site core items, please add site core architect and second site core specialist. In concrete team, you know who is site core specialist. In Cumulus, Martin Zaurau. In V4 public, it's Peťa Kašpárek, and so on. Site architect, you know that is Radim Biskup and Radim Nápal. Yeah. So these two guys will be set on as reviewers for site core area. For front end area, it's a little bit same, but we have just two architects. So let's say on front end, it's needed to set a senior front end developer. For V4, it's Richard or Jarek. For Cumulus, it's Libor or Jirka. And third area is a backend part, and it's about adding two developers, one architect and one senior developer. For V4, it's Kuba Ferenc or František Duvka or Honza Vilimek. Yeah? So one for this guy, please add these architects, please add to the request. And second guy is a senior developer from your team. Yeah? From V4 Public, it's same as a site specialist, it's a Peťa. For consultants, it's the same, so Radim. But you know that for let's say for Cumulus, for example, for a specialist in consultant, it's for Zdeněk, Fabi, etc. Of course, in some case, you can make any peer review. Yeah, so you can add any specialist for this area. Yeah, so I know that in Cumulus, Marek want to implement any special parts, so you can add Marek as a specialist for this area. It's up to architects if they will stay in the review or no. Yeah? It's about that they will decide if this request, this implementation, this change is important, for example, for architecture, important for any other future implementation. Yeah. So it's up to architect if they stay in the review process. So they can remove by themselves, or they can make review. But for a second guy, cycle specialist, senior developer, senior front-end developer, they must make a review. Okay, this is the first step. Yeah. Now, after saving of request, the revision starts. Okay, it's up to table of reviewers. Next step is, of course, review. Now, this is a very important information. If a reviewer will find any part, if there is needed to change, where it's needed to make any other implementation, but it's just only change. The review request is rejected. Please don't take it as any personal issue. It's not about your skills. It's not about your experience. It's just about workflow of the code review process, yeah? Or code review request, code review. Yeah? So if a reviewer wants to make any change by yourself, please review. Please, I ask for reviewer make rejecting of review, reject review. Sometimes it happens that there is any defect. It's a terminus technicus. It's like that. This function is nonsense. This functionality is it's not functional. Let's say. Yeah? So if a reviewer found this problem, please make flag defect for this review. Yeah? In both cases, review is rejected. Now it's yes.
I guess that this workflow, this part of for the comments are mandatory.
Mandatory?
Like required, like needed, like reviewers should comment what they.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sure. So now it's up to author what is needed to fix. He must fix, and the cycle and review is restarting. He will make new change set, and he will add to the same code review request this new change set. Yeah, and click on the restart review, and review is restarting. But I'm talking about same code review request. Yes. And now the cycle starts once more, and once more. I hope that will be one cycle. And after accepted all reviewers, code review request is accepted by all reviewers, and it's closed by Scrum Master, moderator, let's say. Yeah? So the code review request is closed by moderator. We have a discussion with Clover guys, and they have a lot of questions regarding comments and discussion. Who is closer of comments, etc. So it's up to you, but I recommend that comment and discussion is closed by first author, let's say. Yeah? So who will create first comment? Yeah? So he is a closer of this comment and discussion.
Okay.
Any questions? If you will have any questions, so feel free to ask me or anybody else. But let's say this is a first step, and of course maybe we can make any changes in this flow. But I think that that's a logic. I hope, and it's clear. I hope.
I have one comment. We don't know which architect you should add all of them, and we will remove ourselves. And in
not pick out, or if you pick one randomly, then it's okay, but you can ask all of us. You don't know who.
Yes, the architects will manage by themselves. Yeah.
Or let's decide based on hour and minute, and then modulo by 3.
Oh, it's different. Okay, if you no question, thank you very much. And I have one more input to this meeting. Guys, I'm proud that we have a very good experience of developers and architects. Thank you very much for your job. Of course, we have a small issue in the life and no, not small, but a little bit small problems with performance and any bugs. But I think this is common with common functionality with this scope of this project. So. But from my perspective, from development, thank you very much for your job and thank you very much for your good work. So that's my last point. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so I guess this is it. And I hope that the next time we will see a new concept of ESB integrations. I'm already announcing this, and maybe some more stuff or news. And thank you everyone for attending this meeting. That's all. Následuje zvláštní.